slow, watching pizza doing bad shows, cause he's an asshole. Alex Vela, OZ, Rottweiler, Muggsy, Hellcat, Mooch, and the one and only Dixie Lee. Team Bushes is the name, and they all work towards the same fucking goal, and that is only to cost only pizza pain, cause that's all that he deserves. He's been working on our nerves for fucking years. This fucking queer's just a jerk off in a perv. Team Bushes, Team Bushes, Team Bushes, yeah. This bitch once tried to diddle his brother. I can't even fucking imagine what this did to his mother. He got locked up in a psych ward for his sick crimes, and decades later he got exposed by Joey Dimes. Now he's on a fucking mission to prove he's no Jomo, and he never stops bitching cause he's such a homo. He claims he spent years in prison, but he don't remember exactly where he did his time, cause he's a pretender. He made up this fucking lie to try to impress you, and he'll sad fish and he'll cry to try and finesse you. So Team Bushes is on a mission as pizza's opposition to destroy his fake persona and put an end to his grifting. Team Bushes, Team Bushes, yeah, yeah, Team Bushes, yeah. They're beeping through the shadows, creeping mad slow, watching pizza doing bad shows, cause he's an asshole. Alex Vela, OZ, Rottweiler, Muggsy, Hellcat, Mooch, and the one and only Dixie Lee. Team Bushes is the name, and they all work towards the same fucking goal, and that is only to cause Tony pizza pain, cause that's all that he deserves. He's been working on our nerve for fucking years. This fucking queer's just a jerk off and a perv. Team Bushes, they're here to keep an eye on you and make your life a living hell, cause you're a piece of shit and that ain't hard to fucking tell. You grift and you scheme and you bitch and you scream and you throw temper tantrums till they give you some green. You're a whiny fucking jerk and you refuse to go to work. If you don't get what you want, you lose your shit and go berserk. OZ bought membership for FBS is Chad, and you fucking lost your mind and began to attack. Dixie Lee is a lady that you once were obsessed with, then she rejected your ass just like everyone else did. Alex Vela's channel is fucking hilarious. He clowns you in his videos and you should be embarrassed, bitch. You terrorize relentlessly in every single chat, cause nobody has more fucking sock accounts than Hellcat. Rottweiler, Luke, and Muggsy are world-class ball breakers, but Tony Pizza's a fraud and his crew are all fakers. The shadows, creeping mad slow, watching pizza doing bad shows, cause he's an asshole. Alex Vela, OZ. Shadows, creeping mad slow, watching pizza doing bad shows, cause he's an asshole. Alex Vela, OZ, Rottweiler, Muggsy, Hellcat, Mooch, and the one and only Dixie Lee. Team Bushes is the name, and they all work towards the same fucking goal, and that is only to cost Tony pizza pain, cause that's all that he deserves. He's been working on our nerve for fucking years. This fucking queer's just a jerk off and a perv. Team Bushes, Team Bushes, once tried to diddle his brother. I can't even fucking imagine what this did to his mother. He got locked up in a psych ward for his sick crimes, and decades later he got exposed by Joey Dimes. Now he's on a fucking mission to prove he's no Jomo, and he never stops bitching cause he's such a homo. He claims he spent years in prison, but he don't remember exactly where he did his time, cause he's a pretender. He made up this fucking lie to try to impress you, and he'll sad fish and he'll cry to try and finesse you. So Team Bushes is on a mission as pizza's opposition to destroy his fake persona and put an end to his grifting. Team Bushes, Team Bushes, yeah, yeah, Team Bushes, yeah. They're peeping through the shadows, creeping mad slow, watching pizza doing bad shows, cause he's an asshole. Alex Vela, OZ, Rottweiler, Muggsy, Hellcat, Mooch, and the one and only Dixie Lee. Team Bushes is the name, and they all work towards the same fucking goal, and that is only to cause Tony pizza pain, cause that's all that he deserves. He's been working on our nerve for fucking years. This fucking queer's just a jerk off and a perv. Team Bushes, they're here to keep an eye on you and make your life a living hell, cause shit, and that ain't hard to fucking tell. You grift and you scheme and you bitch and you scream and you throw temper tantrums till they give you some green. You're a whiny fucking jerk and you refuse to go to work. If you don't get what you want, you lose your shit and go berserk. Go Z, bought membership for FBS's chat, and you fucking lost your mind and began to attack. Dixie Lee is a lady that you once were obsessed with, then she rejected your ass just like everyone else did. Alex Bella's channel is fucking hilarious. He clowns you in his videos and you should be embarrassed, bitch. You terrorize relentlessly in every single chat, cause nobody has more fucking sock accounts than Hellcat. Rottweiler, Luke and Muggsy are world-class ball breakers, but Tony Pizza's a fraud and his crew are all fakers. Shadows creeping mad slow, watching pizza doing bad shows cause he's an asshole. Alex Bella, OZ, Rottweiler, Muggsy, Hellcat, Mooch, and the one and only Dixie Lee. Team Bushes is the name and they all work towards the same fucking goal, and that is only to cost Tony Pizza pain, cause that's all that he deserves. He's been working on a nerve for fucking years. This fucking queer's just a jerk off and a perp. Team Bushes, yeah, yeah, the Team Bushes, yeah.
Yizzo. You know, I shouldn't be playing that song. I really shouldn't. I should just leave that to the Team Bushes guys, but I love that fucking version of it. I really do. It gets me hyped up. You know, it gets me hyped up. Wait a minute, let me see if the fucking microphone's on. You probably couldn't even hear me. Let me see. All right, it's on. Good. All right, guys. Well, I got to tell you the truth. I just don't feel good today. I really don't. So after the first show, no, this ain't politics. No. But I'm going to do one probably just so I could spend time with Shanna tonight. I'm probably going to do the politics show immediately after this one. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't. What the fuck was I saying? I don't know. But I wasn't feeling great. I was in kind of a bad mood. I don't know. So I went to sleep for a little while. And then when I woke up, man, I was up, but I couldn't get up. Like I was awake. My eyes were open. I couldn't get up. I'm getting old. Older and sicker. So I finally did, and I shaved my dumb fucking head and my stupid fucking face and showered. FBS politics, I need a laugh. Shut up, Michael. Watch my politics show next. I'll be the one laughing. I know. And this can't be wrong. Me too. I know how it is. I know. So anyway, I wasn't going to do a second show. I said, fuck it. But listen, I don't have that luxury. You know, I got to make money. I'll see if I make any on this show. This is my plan, guys. If I do, this will be a long show. If not, don't get mad at me. I'm just going to go on to the politics show. Because the quicker I do that, the more time I can spend with my wife. You know? Angel Gotti, oh my God, my father. You're really going in on her. We don't have to be insulting Angel and stuff. I said what I needed to say. I'm done as far as I'm concerned. Unless, you know, there's something I need to respond to. Lyrics were missing me butt naked, rubbing PB&J on my balls for Weon. That's disgusting. Weeks. What do you mean? This can't be wrong. Weeks. FBS, I want you to be successful no matter what you believe. See, Michael, that's what makes you a true friend. Thank you, sir. And I think I got the right idea here. You know, we'll see, but as long as I stick to it, I think I'll be fine. Anyway, guys, before the show, somebody texted me and said that Sal DeFelice made a video and said that Tony Pizza, let me just see. Tony Pizza had a heart attack and died. Now, I want this to be true. I do. And so do most of you guys. Even his mother wants this to be true, and his brother, and his sister, and his dead stepfather, and his dead real father. But, Sal, what the fuck are you doing? So, I'm not mad at Sal or nothing, but I mean, I don't know. Why do that? Because, you're getting people's hopes up for nothing. Obviously, if Tony Pizza died and had a heart attack, none of us would find out, especially Sal, because Sal hasn't even been involved in this shit for too long. But boy, would it be great. I mean, eventually he has to die, guys. But do I think it's going to be anytime soon? No. Not anytime soon. Unfortunately not, no. Evil motherfuckers like him live a long time. Tony will probably live to be 110. That's just the way it is. Oh, yeah. No, I got you, Dave Gass. I just saw that. It's unfortunate, but it's true. The good die young and the evil live forever, but hopefully he'll pass away soon. He's staying away from YouTube, and I'll tell you why. Terry Time gives him money, and this is a fact. Like, this has been out there before, that she really does this. He's even said it. She gives him money and tells him, don't do shows. Yeah. Well, no, I knew. You know what I mean? I knew that if say, I don't know. I would say Terry Time, but anything that comes out of her mouth, you shouldn't believe. If somebody close to him, if there is any such person, came out and said it, it'd be one thing. But Sal likes to troll and stuff, and he wouldn't know. You know what I mean? What the fuck was I? Oh, man, this sucks. I forgot what I was going to say. Motherfucker. Oh, Terry Time gives him money. Yeah, Soda. She gives him money and tells him don't do any shows because FBS can use your content then. But it's got to be super disappointing to see that when I'm not talking about his shows, I do much better. Much better. Last night's show, the first show, we had well over 100 people. The second show, we had well over 150, I believe, for a good bit of the time. And then I did a show last night where I fucking had about 280 people in the live chat, and I got 8,500 fucking views in 2 hours. So, and I have not skipped a show since Tony's been away. Not that I can remember. I have not skipped a single show. 2 shows a day without having to use any of his videos or anything like that, without even really talking about him. I'm talking about him now, yes, but I haven't been. So Terry Time gives him the money and tells him, here, this is so you don't have to do any shows and FBS won't have content. Terry Time, FBS will always have content. Believe me, always, no matter what. The meth queen has spoken. That animal. That fucking bitch. Tell them he's everyone's content, don't do shows. They tell him he's everyone's content, don't do shows. Yeah. And he's not. He's not. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's not even like he doesn't even do funny videos that often. You know what I mean? It's just every now and then you'll catch one that's really, really good. You could break that up into a few parts. Most of his videos are fucking terrible. Are you, Miss Campione? I kind of am too. I know. I'm hoping I get cheered up on this show or the next one. So I heard 4 crime families mentioned in the gambling bust today. I believe it was Gambino, Genovese, or as Cash Patel pronounced it, Genovese, and Bonanno and Lucchese. Looks like Colombo's the only one. I could be wrong about that, but I know he mentioned Bonanno, Gambino, and Lucchese and Genovese. I mean, so it's either all 5 families or just those 4 families. Yeah, I haven't seen Neil Costantino in fucking forever. How are you, sir? How you doing? So yeah, this was a bust. We could talk about that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of us know many details about it. It has something to do with sports betting and shit like that, which is funny because I'd like to see the Epstein files. I mean, personally, like when they did the fentanyl bust, that was great. You know what I mean? That was great. You're getting, sports betting. Who really gives a fuck? Now, we don't know the details. Maybe this was in some way, it says there was a fraud involved. I don't know exactly how. No, they said Lucchese because he pronounced it Lucchese. Cash Patel, Lucchese family. We don't know the details. This might be good for society, this bust. I don't know, but I mean, and the mafia is involved, which is the only reason the FBI would even be involved in such a thing, I think, unless this is really just nationwide. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really care much. So you got people who to stop you busted people who bet on sports. Oh my God. Thank God they're off the street. I was worried to let my wife leave the house at night. Jesus Christ. I was afraid somebody would accidentally bet on her. Like, I don't know. It was weird to me. I'm not real thrilled by this news. It is funny though that the mob is still being busted for shit. You know what I mean? But it's not a surprise that it's sports betting, because what else do they really have left? Bookmaking and loan sharking and whatever other. I'm sure they got some modern rackets going, that they didn't have back in the day. But even sports betting, it's amazing to me, and this is why I think this must be some shit like. Oh, is that what they did? Oh, okay. So it wasn't betting on the actual sports, like players betting against themselves and all that shit. Because I was gonna say, if this is something like what was that name? Maisie. Henry Hill's guy there. Fuck. Something Maisie, I think was his name. If this was something like that, like with the Boston College players and shit, I know that they don't like that. It's a big deal, but if it's it's two different cases. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Because I was gonna say, I don't know. I'm surprised, unless it's something elaborate like that. I'm surprised they're I'm surprised. I don't know. I guess I want to say. I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. But if it's just illegal gambling, I don't even see how. That's what I was going to say. How the mafia makes much money at that anymore. I mean, I understand people will always use bookies. One, because you can bet on credit, and two, because if you win, you don't have to pay taxes. But there are sports books every fucking where, everywhere, you name it, everywhere. I mean, I got a sports book 10 minutes from my house in one direction, about 45 minutes from my house in another direction, about an hour in a different direction. Then, you're talking about Philly, Harrisburg, York. There's casinos all over the state, though. And then in Maryland, like we're close to Maryland, there's a bunch of casinos in Maryland that have sports books. Anywhere, I'm 10 minutes from a sports book, and even if that place didn't exist, I wouldn't be more than 40 or 50 minutes from one. You know what I mean? And I live in, pretty much nowheresville, Pennsylvania. So people that live in bigger cities and shit, you can go anywhere and bet legally. No big deal for the mob, but NBA players and coach are ruined. Yeah, see, I didn't know. I heard him talk about NBA players, but I didn't know. Like, what exactly was it? They were just using them to attract people to these card games, like you said. It's the players that you will be finding out shaving points in basketball games. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what I thought automatically, something like that. One was prop bet fixing, and the other was the card setup. Oh, okay, gotcha. Decks were rigged and info sent to third party. Could figure out best hands at table. Oh, for real? Damn. So they got some shit going on. See, you never know though. I guess you can never really count the mafia out. You know what I mean? It's so funny because these guys couldn't tie their shoes, but they're geniuses when it comes to making money, at least illegally, and usually legally too, because most of these guys that go into witness protection, they come out and they become legitimate businessmen pretty much immediately. They got businesses going and they're making money legitimately, all of them. All there's not. I mean, think about. Tell me a mob rat. Okay, there's a few that haven't. But you take like Mikey Scars. I'm pretty sure he owns several businesses. Dominic Sicali. Sammy's got a million things going on. Michael Franzese, he's got the pizza thing. He's got this shit. He's got all his, church fraud shit going on. He's got tons of stuff. Who else? The majority of them end up. Mikey Flat Top DeRosa. He went to Arizona and became a successful real estate agent. I believe he has a car dealership and all types of stuff. So, I mean, yeah. Remember in Office Space, they said some shit like that. They said something like, I don't understand how these mafia guys, they have no common sense or something, but they're geniuses when it comes to making money. Some shit like that. I mean, it is true. No, of course not. No. That was never in question, I don't think. Michael Francesi, yeah. Feds uncovered the X-ray machine while investigating the prop betting, I believe. Oh my God, are you serious? Wow. But how do they do it though? Oh, you mean they're doing this at like mob card games? They're not pulling this shit off in fucking casinos. So they're setting up card games and then they're using the machines to rip people off, basically. My Blue Heaven. Yeah, man. Sometimes I want to watch that movie, but I don't even think I don't know. When I was a kid, that movie was the shit. I must have watched it 400 times. But that's Florida, though. Florida, in the movie, it was Cali. At least that's where it was filmed. But Florida is My Blue Heaven, man. The majority of them go to Florida. Chauncey Billups, though, man, shaking my head. Now they're saying one of LeBron's friends. Really? Wow. It's crazy, man. Well, the mafia is alive and well. I just don't think, and we don't know, but I mean, I don't know how far the threat of violence goes with them anymore. I'm sure they rough people up and shit, but as far as killing people, I mean, which is the thing that blows my mind, because people obeyed the mafia, so to speak, and bent the knee to them because they were the fear of being killed, not the fear of getting slapped around, but I don't see how that fear is there anymore. But listen, if there's something they could do that, even makes it appear like you can make money off of it, people will be interested. Neil Costantino, no matter where the rats go. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. What do I know? I just know that the majority are in Florida. I would think, of high profile. Oh, I didn't even mention Chris Pacello. Look at Chris Pacello. That motherfucker went into witness protection after he got out of the feds and served his sentence. And he opened up like a string of pizza joints. And then he said, fuck that. He wanted the action of a South Beach. So he went back to Miami. And he's retired, a multi-millionaire right now. He's retired as a multi-millionaire without question. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stopped. A guy like Chris Pacello is going to have millions his whole life, or he's going to keep grinding no matter what. And according to him, he is retired. That means he made enough money that he never has to do a thing again. Plus, he might have some other shit going on. I mean, he did appear as Eddie Leno in that horrible Mafia Cops movie. I don't know if you guys know that, but Chris Pacello played Eddie Leno for about 13 seconds. And I hear he's part of some big documentary that's coming out. And I think he's probably got more shit in the works like that. I think while he did his thing and he was in business, he didn't want to talk about his past. He didn't want it all over TV and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But now that he's retired, he's like, fuck it. He could coast the rest of his life just on his story and the millions he made from the clubs. The millions. Yep. I mean, that guy is loaded. It was only a couple of years ago he bought a house for $3.8 million, I believe. And he was dating a chick that looked like a fucking supermodel, So that guy's, I'm telling you, man, in my opinion, That guy's life is one of the most fascinating stories about the mafia ever to be told. His story is incredible. And he wasn't even in the mafia, but he was still a part of it. You know, he was more than your average associate as far as how connected he was and stuff. He wasn't a made guy or nothing. But man, I mean, that kid was from when he was young, he knew how to make money. He was ballsy as a motherfucker. He did some of the craziest shit ever. If you read about him and stuff, you know, you talk about when that boat of his was in it was docked at some, I don't know, police thing. It was being used as evidence, and he swam to the boat. However he did it, the cop on duty couldn't see him, and he blew up the fucking boat. I mean, his story is fucking fascinating. The truck, $150,000 worth of trees, weed. He hijacks the truck with $150,000 worth of weed in it. He sells it for $150,000, puts a low jack on it so he could track it, steals it back, and sells it again. Brilliant. Everything he touched turned to gold. Yep. And he's one of those guys. You ever say like certain people are meant to be exactly what they became? You know, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, they were meant to be basketball players, people like that. Eminem was meant to be exactly who he became. If there's a plan for everybody, their lives went by that plan completely. You know what I mean? Like everything turned out exactly the way it was supposed to. Some people are exactly who they were meant to be from birth. Jay-Z was meant to be a billionaire. He just was. He always had the hustle, whether it was drugs on the street, the record business, liquor, whatever the fuck he's involved in. And there's so many things he's involved in. Some people were meant to be exactly what they turned out to be. And Chris Pacello is one of those people. Chris Pacello, there's no question about it. At every point in his life, he was exactly where he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be in New York. He was supposed to be a street thug. He got involved in New York with clubs and DJs and different things like that. He knew a lot about clubs and he knew DJs. You know, he knew the New York club scene and the New York club DJs. So even after all those years of being a criminal, he never spent a fucking day in jail, not one day, because he was good at it. He wound up in Florida. He runs into, what's her name? Madonna's girlfriend. I forget. Something with a G. Anyway, and he starts up with the clubs. And I mean, I don't think he had one club that failed. And then he goes to prison after all that scandal and all that, goes to prison, comes out, goes back to Miami eventually. And he picks up where he left off, like nothing ever happened. Like he never left to begin with. You know, he opened a gym. He opened I think he opened he had a gym that had like a vitamin store or some shit like that. Had some other aspect to it, something like that. He had club after club. He's taking pictures with all the biggest rappers. He's got fucking the most famous people in the fucking world hanging out at his clubs. Amazing. It's incredible. Every other mob rat should be pissed off at Chris Pacello because he did it best. He did it better than anybody. No question. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, some people just were. You could put him on a deserted island and he'll turn it into a resort. 100%, Neil. That man knows what he's doing. And it's fascinating because even when I'm in South Beach, and every time we go to Florida, I'm in South Beach at some point. I mean, that place really, not much of it existed before he came along. You know what I mean? As far as the clubs and shit. I mean, he turned South Beach into what it is today. And he did it with money from a fucking bank robbery. It is the most fascinating story in mafia history as far as I'm going. One of them. You know, I can't believe there is not 10 different movies about his life. And believe me, there will be. Kings of South Beach is not it. That movie was okay, but it was a low budget movie, you know, not exactly high profile A-list actors, stuff like that. They have to make a real movie about that and add a little bit the story of the Bath Avenue crew, because that's another fascinating story. Anybody who says that that's not fascinating, the way those kids lived and all the shit they did, I think you're either jealous or you just don't want to acknowledge it for whatever reason. But their story is fascinating too. You know, it is. And there's so many things about Chris Pacello. There's that mob over Miami. There's Inside the American Mob, Endgame, that I think the last episode of last episode, it was only once. No, I think they did a season after that was about women or something. But the first season, whatever the fuck it was, the last episode was called Endgame, was about them. There was a Vanity Fair Confidential episode that you can find. It's called Disco Inferno. It was all about him, and they talk about Mikey Amin and Jimmy and Tommy Reynolds and all those guys. There's just been there's Kings of South Beach. I mean, and the funny thing is, the Bath Avenue crew, is fascinating as it is. If it wasn't for Chris Pacello's story, that story would not be well known. You know what I mean? Anytime you hear the story of the Bath Avenue crew, the centerpiece of it is Chris Pacello, even though he wasn't even a member of the Bath Avenue crew. You know, I think their story is fascinating on its own, but apparently people in Hollywood and shit think it's fascinating only when it's attached to Chris Pacello and his life. Oh, wow, you watched him play? That's amazing. I want to see Steph Curry play. I almost did, and then COVID hit. FBS Great Politics show last night, bro. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for being there. That was, if you couldn't tell, I was having a ball, man. I was having a ball. And 8,500 views by the time that shit was over. 8,500 views, 28 subscribers. And it wound up being 30. Let me see if it's still at 30 new subs. I'm sure it is. Yep, 30 new subs. If you want to get into my father, you will find his story much more fascinating than the Bath Avenue crew. Oh, I'm sure. Would you do an interview, Ronan? Would you let me interview you about that? Just out of curiosity. You remember Steve Blair when John Gotti said, "I'll sever your motherfucking head off, you cocksucker"? He was talking about Ronan's dad. I'm waiting to see if Ronan will let me interview him. You should, bro. You definitely should. It'll be great. Just waiting for your answer. Yeah. I've heard and read a lot. You recommend anything? Yeah. That guy tell you about contact you yet? Oh, no. Nobody has, War. Nope. Pizza Ranch that never takes a bath. Avenue Crew. Sean Landon Clark. Hey now. Very, very good. Anybody want to donate? Yeah, it's up to you. I don't know. You guys don't. Well, I don't know. I might just go into the politics show to get that out of the way, you know? Because if I do it at 10:30, which is what I plan on doing all of them, but most nights, you know, Shanna works the next morning, so that's easy. Tonight, she doesn't have to work tomorrow morning. So I don't want to really break up our night if I don't have to. All right, thanks, War. Ronan's not answering me. Miss Campion said, Ronan, I'd love if you did an interview. Me too. Definitely. See what he says. If he answers. I think Ronan left. The building. I drink a lot of water. I got that Team Bush's song in my head. You grift and you scheme and you bitch and you scream and you throw temper tantrums till they give you some green. I got that shit stuck in my head and I can't get it out. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get going. Today, this is the second show, and it's a short show, I'll admit. But that's only, well, Oh, thank you for that, Steve Blair. $20 for a little something, bro. Thank you very much. It's only because I want to get onto the politics show, and there's no real money today. I made with Steve Blair's money. I think I made $35 today. So, FBS, by midterms, you should drop this mob tube and just do politics. Even though I disagree with you, you were good. Thank you, Sam the man. That means a lot to me. Yeah. Oh, I hope it's long before that I'm just doing politics, guys. All it takes is once I see even one show where I've made as much or more money than I usually make on one of these shows, that's it. You will wake up one day, I promise you, and this channel will be called something else, and most of the content will be wiped off of it, and I'll be doing a different channel altogether. That's my dream right now. You know what I'm saying? Once I see I can make a living off it and I don't have to do any of these shows anymore, you will not hear another word out of my mouth about MobTube ever fucking again. I will leave this shit behind me like it never happened. Like it's just a bad memory. That's what I want. I hear you, Miss Camp. You're wrong. It's very bad. Very, very bad. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully you guys donate tomorrow. If not, I don't know. I might give up on all of you. But and I'm only doing that, like I said, because there's nowhere to go from here. You know, there's nowhere to go from here. Like, you know, Angel, and I'm just bringing this up. Angel said last night about building the channel and putting money into the channel and stuff. It's like, why on MobTube? I mean, that's a good idea, but not with this, not with this type of content, because there's only so many people interested. And after 4 years, even if you got 17, 18,000 subs, I mean, there are literally big channels, politics channels that get that per day or per week. So, you know, and to me, listen, for every so many fucking subs, there's a donor or two in there, you know? And then for the next so many subs, however, 1,000, 2,000, there's some donors in there. Albert the Truth Telling Alligator, what's up, bro? So anyway, guys, I'm going to go now so I could do that. So if you're interested in my politics, if you're not, don't, because you'll get pissed off at me. Any of you guys who donate or something that aren't here right now, if you don't like my politics, please don't listen to my politics shows, because then you're going to get mad and not donate anymore. I can't have that. I don't know. I don't even know if I'd keep it as a side hustle. Not as bad as things have gotten with money. Not as bad as things have gotten with money. But anyway, let me go do that, guys, and I'll see you on a MobTube show tomorrow morning. If you want to watch the politics show, just give me like 5 minutes. I'll set it up. Peace, guys. Love you.